Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Great to see you again. Great show for you today. We're going to cover some TTSA news, the latest UFO disclosure developments. Where's this thing going? A lot of stuff to cover here. Pete's got some stuff. He's going to talk about some mysterious Oregon cattle mutilations. And then we also have 140 new Nazca lines discovered. That's going to be interesting. And I got a bone to pick with Trump. Up next on Talk is Cheap. Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dan Hohlfeld. We are live on this December 6th, 2019 edition. Hard to believe we're almost to the end of the year here. And I'm joined by none other than Pete Halbleib.
Hey, good evening or morning, afternoon, Dan. How you doing?
Yeah, we are a little early.
Yeah, I got my schedule all messed up. I guess I'm just a little still shaken about our discussion about Santa not being real earlier. Yeah.
I guess this ain't a kid's show anymore. We actually had to say that on YouTube now that this is not a kid's channel.
Oh, really?
They make you do that because all the whole lawsuits and all that stuff.
Oh, my God. Well, I would, I don't know. Well, I'm guessing if any kid is watching this show that they're enlightened enough to already have come to that conclusion themselves.
Yeah, I guess we're a conspiracy show, right? They should know.
They should be asking questions, if anything, right?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get started, we had I got a card in the mail from Athena and Ken. We met them out at East City. Very interesting. She gave us a gift card. Look at that there.
Oh, yep. Here we go. Boom. Athena and Ken, you rock. You guys are awesome. I can't believe it. You're so thoughtful. It's super cool to have met you and got to know you a little bit. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. I spent mine already, so.
Did you? Oh, awesome. Well, good. I'm going to. I'm going to wait though and get something that I'll have for a while with it. So I'll always look at it and.
Very thoughtful because she didn't even have my address. She actually had to go through a grapevine.
Yeah, right. A little sleuthing, detective work to find it. Yeah.
So. It kind of gave her some bonus points in my eyes to do the research.
Well,
there.
It's a little, kind of scary though that like anybody can track you down if they want to. Well, it was through friends, though. It's not
definitely.
It's not like she was hiding in the bushes, like spicering it or anything like that.
Spicer, yes.
Spicer, is that a verb now? Hiding to hide in the bushes is called you're spicering.
Spicering it up.
Yeah.
So, we are live here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We got the chat room here. They call it the troll room on No Agenda Show. I'm gonna bring a clip up from those guys later on.
Oh, cool. I don't know.
Good old troll room.
I don't know. It's not too bad. It's pretty friendly.
Actually, Athena's in the chat right now. She's got Creative Goddess.
Oh, hey. Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks for joining.
Good to see her on board.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, should we get started today, Pete?
Yeah,
you got some stuff?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, we'll have you start here.
Let's talk about the new Nazca lines that were discovered in Peru. So just recently, scientists announced that they had discovered all of these new drawings that in the Peruvian desert of the Nazca lines. And what's cool about this is that in the graphic you have up there right now, was it that one? I don't think so. Anyway, they used artificial intelligence to see these new lines that weren't otherwise observable. Excuse me. Pretty cool. Dan, what the hell do you think all those drawings and stuff were meant for? I wanted to ask you that.
That's a good question. You kind of think of how big are these? Do we know?
Yeah. If you scroll down a little bit, they range in size. I mean, like some of them are small as like 20 feet across up, and some of them, I believe, you're going to be like 80, 100 yards across. Stop on this one. Two-headed snake here, they said. Someone had made a comment. I don't know where I was reading it, but it said that, it could be representation of a wormhole and traveling through like that and stuff.
Yeah.
And there is a scale on there. I can't quite see it, but
30 meters long.
So that's with the black. Oh, there you go. 30 meters long, 100 feet. So not huge, but nonetheless.
So they just they looked at these and they said, "Oh, that looks like something. Take a photograph of it, and then use artificial intelligence to analyze the
Yeah,
photo."
well, I guess the artificial intelligence actually was able to discover one on its own, but you can kind of see the photo on the left. That's, I guess, what they would take through satellites or whatever. And then they, of course, drew the
Oh yeah,
snake
sure.
and the person hanging out of its
That's
mouth.
interesting. Yeah, you say wormhole. It does. Yeah.
That was, yeah, someone made that comment. I thought it was worth noting. There's a 300-foot bird geoglyph.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, this is the one that the artificial intelligence system found.
That's barely. You can barely see it, but if you use some filters and change it around, you could probably get it to pop a little bit.
Yeah, right. And it's only 6 feet wide, though. Look at that, 2 meters.
Oh yeah, that's small. Then they have to be using something else besides a satellite to get these. Well, the official satellite wouldn't get close enough, but maybe you have a government one that could get
there's
really close.
And now there's probably private ones now that are getting up there too. So, but anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
At a time, 2,000 plus years ago, people were out there drawing these pictures that could only be seen from the sky. So I'll leave it at that. Okay,
stuff.
next. And this is, you don't really even need to like bring anything up, but I just want a public service announcement. If you don't already know this, and you're on Facebook and they're doing this stupid 10-year challenge thing, if that isn't just a blatant like,
wait, explain what the 10-year challenge is.
Well,
for
it's
people.
supposedly you're supposed to post a picture of you doing something 10 years ago, and then post a picture of yourself doing something today, and talk about how awesome your life's been now 10 years later and stuff. But if it's like so obvious that there's like facial recognition, artificial intelligent work being done here with this, and with millions of people voluntarily putting their stuff on there, FBI, CIA, NSA, you name it, so people are working with that. So I guess if you want to participate in that and continue to get your face on,
well, they were doing
other systems.
They were doing this with that that one app that makes you look old. The name escapes me right now.
Oh, well, yeah. What was that one? I'm sure even just with Snapchat and stuff and all those things that you're doing, they're reading your facial features.
Oh yeah, it's all scanned and documented, and it goes into an archive, and you bet your ass.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're doing that, I don't know. Think about it.
I did do the old.
Did you really?
But this was before it was like public. It was a fresh app.
Yeah.
Because I always keep up on the latest tech stuff, and I was, I'll try this. And then all of a sudden it gets out to the real public, and then
wasn't it the Russians getting it or something, or what was that? Was it the government doing it, or was it our government, or was it a different government?
They were just using it for facial recognition.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was ours.
All right, right on. Okay, so that was that's my 10-year challenge spiel. Another cool thing of note, new interstellar comet was discovered a few months ago. The C/2019Q4 Borisov interstellar comet. If I can talk. It's going to be closest to Earth here on the 9th, so 3 days.
And close as in like millions of miles away.
190 million miles. So before supposedly it's going to start getting further away. But what's cool is that this is the second one of these interstellar comets that have been discovered in the last like 4 or 5 years, 3-4 years. Remember the Oumuamua one? Oumuamua. There we go. Thank you. Oumuamua. Thank you.
That was a spaceship.
Yeah.
You bet your ass.
So anyway, another one. We have another one coming through. So
I was thinking about a movie like, I don't know if Corey Good has plans to do this. Love him or hate him, whatever. But, I watch a lot of Stargate SG-1 and all that good stuff. Think about making a movie out of his experiences, like the 20 and back, and then he goes to Oumuamua when it comes by, and they land on this ship and they explore. Like, it's just something like that. What I would love to watch.
Yep.
And if he really wanted to get his story out there, because he talked about working with an A studio and A actors. So
really?
I don't know what his connections are
and what he considers A actors.
Well, A is A.
Right, it should be.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nick Cage. That'd be awesome. And Samuel Jackson. That would be a good one. I'd watch that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Sorry.
That would get his, if he wanted to get his story out there, that's the best way to do it. It'd be more entertaining than some of the To the Stars Academy stuff. I don't know what their plans are. They're probably going to make some other movies too as well, because he was working with some studios as well. Mr. DeLong.
DeLong.
We'll talk about later.
Okay. Right on. All right. Well, cool. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled because they're starting to come in at more frequently now, I guess.
Isn't there supposed to be another Halbleib too, they say?
Oh, God, I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe there'll be some sacrifices again and all that stuff.
Bunch of people, and the Nike shoes and the purple sheets, right, or something. Anyway, last thing I got. This is back in August. This came about, but I don't know if we mentioned it on the show. If so, I apologize for the repeat. But anyway, cattle mutilations starting up again in Oregon. Dan got the article there. Sylvie's Valley Ranch. 140,000 acre property in Oregon's largest county. Scroll down. I think, what was it? 5 dead bulls within 24 hours. Had no sign of struggle. It's just found dead and mutilated. And, again, same MO. Surgical like precision, organs missing, and you're talking 5 bulls out in the Oregon wilderness on a ranch that have to contend with all sorts of stuff, and something just goes out there, and within a few days or whatever, 5 of them in 24 hours. That's crazy.
So was there stuff like, was it actual mutilation, like the blood was sucked out of them?
Yeah. But there was no blood on the ground. But yeah, they were cut up apart. Stuff missing.
I see this says no struggles.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, this stuff happens, and it's like, what the hell? I don't recall. Do you recall there being a lot of UFO activity out in Oregon? I can never say that right.
In general, yeah. Like McMinnville has one of the more famous West Coast sightings. And that's right.
That's right. They have that festival as well.
Yeah, they have the nation's second largest UFO festival every year in McMinnville, Oregon.
Is it worth attending? Did you ever attend that one?
No, I missed it. I was there on a Thursday before, like the Friday is when it started up, and I think I flew out Friday morning from Portland, so it was that Thursday night. They were just setting up, and there were people already walking around with alien.
Yeah, that's what turns me off. Is like, okay, they're just making it. That's what I thought it was. They're just dressing up in this stuff and
no, but they had like speakers and stuff in seminars.
Yeah, when I saw the speaker list, I was like, oh,
yeah, there were some
here.
Yeah, there were some good speakers that they had there. I forget now, but of course, covering Sasquatch, UFOs, aliens, all that stuff.
Was that
so? Anyway,
your spiel for today?
Yeah, that's the spiel, I guess, Dan. Check it out. Some pretty interesting stuff always going on.
Oh yeah. So I'm figuring out the best way to segue this stuff. There's a lot of information that I gathered for today's show. I think we'll start off with my bone to pick with Trump.
Yeah, let's hear about this, Dan. I figured he was on some golden pedestal there. He was untouchable. What do you got? What do you do?
He pissed me off. I tell you what.
Oh, he really didn't piss you off. I can see it in your eyes. This is gonna be funny. I think.
I'm gonna play this clip. This is from let me set this up a little bit. This is from the Florida rally, Sunrise, Florida.
When was that?
I believe this was last week.
Okay, within a week or so.
That down to make it easier here for you, and we'll play the clip here.
Monday I flew to Texas, the great state of Texas, and I opened up an Apple computer plant. They make the new beautiful Mac, whatever.
Whatever. What? Back that up. I don't like that at all.
So
if you ain't listening closely.
Oh
beautiful
God.
Mac, whatever.
They make the new beautiful Mac. Whatever. He's going to say whatever.
I mean, how do you know? What is the name of the new Mac?
It's the Mac Pro. This is the biggest, the baddest computer you can get. This thing has up to 1.5 terabytes of DDR4 RAM. I only have 16 on this. 1.5 terabytes of RAM.
And
you can have up to 4 GPUs in this thing.
Huge.
28 cores. This is a quad core that I'm running on. 4 on this.
7 times more cores.
28. Yep. And then that's 56 threads. Oh my, this is the baddest.
How many
computer.
threads does this have?
It's if you have a core, it's 2 threads per core. So
okay.
8.
So that would be 56. All right on.
So When you say Mac, whatever, I flip the hell out, man.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, but hey, I will say this though. Trump knows all there is to know about computers. Maybe he knows there's something better coming up than the Mac Pro.
Sure.
Right? Ask him.
This is the same Trump that wants to go back to the button instead of the swipe.
Oh, are you kidding me? No.
That's what he told Tim Cook in a tweet.
Go back to the button. Oh, well. All I'm going to say is that he knows more about computers than anybody, probably.
But that's who. And he, got to tour that facility. I would have loved to have toured that facility, but that's just me. I think he took it a little bit for granted. But that's the way it is.
He's doing it for, talking points anyway. I mean, he really doesn't probably care much about Apple or whatever.
I know he doesn't.
The Mac. He should have just stopped and said the new Mac computer and been done with it.
He said whatever. I got offended.
Yeah. So wait. So does he still have your vote, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So far,
the best we got. I mean, he's reduced my taxes. That's a start. I want to get rid of the taxes, but
yep.
A little ways from that yet. I don't know what's the hold up on that currency. That's the thing, though. We're going to wait another 4 years for all this stuff to tumble down. Okay, so I was listening to the No Agenda show that's got Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak. Great show. They talk about a lot about political stuff or whatever, and they've listened to clips. They were listening to the same Florida speech Trump was giving. I didn't pick this up, but Adam Curry did, and I thought it was very interesting. So I'm going to play this clip, and we'll listen in on this.
Perfect call. Think of it. 33, what they get away with. And don't forget.
Now, explain this to me. He throws a code 33 in the middle of a sentence for no reason. It makes no sense. Listen again.
Wait. What's elite? There's nothing elite. But we're doing great. We're going to have a tremendous victory. But when I have a perfect call, think of it. 33, what they get away with.
33 what?
What do you think, Pete?
Play that again. Just
back it up here.
Sense? Listen again.
Wait. What's elite? There's nothing elite. But we're doing great. We're going to have a tremendous victory. But when I have a perfect call, think of it. 33, what they get away with.
33 what?
What do you think? So he says, what's elite?
Yeah, what's
They're
the
not elite.
Yeah.
33. Think of it, 33. I think if you tie this in, if you really kind of read into it, obviously Trump knows a lot more than he's saying.
Sure.
He knows about the Masons, maybe 33-degree Mason. You think about the elites that run the country.
Oh.
Or was he thinking about Hillary's emails and saying 33,000?
No, he would have said 33,000. So what is the highest Mason rank?
It's supposed to be 33.
That is the highest
but
rank.
There's a rumor there's a tier above that.
Yeah, the 33 A's or something.
You're right.
Yeah,
Whatever
right.
it is.
33.1s.
But I thought that was interesting because when he has a lead on his mind, maybe it's going into the conspiratorial Mason 33-degree.
Or maybe there was like some little number on the side of the teleprompter,
also,
like the sticker on it he saw or something.
I think he might have been off script at that point. He likes to go off script a lot.
Oh yeah, he does.
But even when you think about 33, that's the angle of a triangle, right? Divided by 3, 33, isn't it?
Do they add up to 90 in there, or do they add up to 180? 30, 60, 90. They add up to 180. So
maybe I'm wrong. I thought that was an angle at something too, but all right. I just thought that was interesting. Whatever, throw that in there. So I think we'll segue into his talk about Space Force. He brought this up towards the end of the speech.
This state will also be playing a critical role in the 6th branch of the U.S. military.
Space Force.
The Space Force.
Yeah. All right. Now he's talking.
It's all
the Democrats are trying to stop it. They're trying to stop it, but I think we're in pretty good shape. We need it. That's the new frontier. You look at China, you look at Russia, you look at some of these countries. It's about space. We have to have it. We're behind, and we don't want to be behind. We'll never be behind again like that.
It says we're
Space
behind.
Force, brand new.
Space Force. Space
We're
Force.
behind. Interesting.
That's what's really interesting about that.
That. Behind who?
Chinese and Russia. You know
You
why
think
this
so?
all happens? And David Wilcock has talked about this stuff. This inventor here, who's come out with all these
Salvatore
patents.
Cesar.
Salvatore
Hayes.
Cesar Payas,
Hayes.
however you say it. This is basically the vehicle they're releasing these patents from the government. So we got the high frequency gravitational wave generator was one of them. I talked about these on this show before. And we also have an initial
Room temperature super.
mass reduction device. So this is what they're going to use to start deploying these the vehicles for Space Force. Oh, we
Yeah.
got the patents right here. This stuff was out. Look at that, filed 2016, but they just got it it was last year, I guess. But they're just putting these out right now.
Yeah, they're making
And
them.
I heard Wilcock say the reason they had to do this was because they have to get ahead of the Chinese and the Russia, so they have that actual patent here.
Yeah.
So they don't have to owe them anything when they
If
everything
they
out.
bring it out. So it's our way of, but that's not an international patent. That's just a U.S. patent, right?
That's a good question. I didn't even know there was a difference, to be honest.
United States of America as
But I suppose if we have it in our
by Secretary of the Navy, there's a spelling error
where is it?
on the bottom one there. Applicant by the Secretary of the Navy instead of the Navy. The one above says Navy.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
anyway, spelling error.
But yeah, this one says Navy. Bringing this patents out through the Navy so they can get ready
Okay,
for
so maybe
dropping
there
the
is.
hammer.
Yeah, interesting.
Start putting puzzle pieces like this together, it starts to make sense. So that, I believe, is what kind of Trump was referring to as we're behind. Get ahead of the
Yep.
Russian, Chinese, release it so it's ours. They've got the patents for it, and
Yep.
they don't have to pay the Chinese royalties or whatever the hell they call it.
And oh my God, since we're kind of talking about space travel and Space Force stuff, I totally slipped my mind until now. I heard yesterday that one of my coworkers got spooked by something he saw in the sky down by Soldiers Grove, Dano.
Really?
Like within the last couple of days, week or so. Said he was driving along and he saw a bright, it was two he said the lights were triangular shaped, but it was like on some sort of craft, but two triangular lights on it were like hovering above the hills as he was driving. Really bright. Said, this is a story I've heard secondhand though. I got to follow up with the guy. But anyway, supposedly it like rotated really quickly and then had three lights. And then just like he said, it snapped its finger and it was like taken off. And he said he drove a little further and he could still see it over the hilltops in the distance. And then eventually it just went away and stuff. But he said it was really loud as well too. He said he could hear it. It was super loud.
So it's what you would classify as a triangular craft?
Well, see, that's what I tried to get out of the person I heard from. What was a craft triangle? He said the lights were triangle. So 'cause my first thought was TR-3B.
Sure, yeah.
I went there as far as unidentified flying objects that might be able to be identified. But anyway, I got to talk to him. I heard about yesterday. I won't see the guy for another week.
See, I think you start tying all this stuff in with TTSA, and now we're going to get into this. They're going to make that app and all that stuff for reporting stuff.
Mhm.
I think this is all coincided with the government. They're going to start planning this. Okay, everybody's got this app. Let's have a massive UFO sighting around it because they'll just use their
Oh my
craft.
God.
And then the people can report it and start getting them acclimated to
Why
it.
can't we just create an app right now, the UFO report app that, I mean, how long does it really take to develop an app like that where people can just go fill in stuff and it gets classified?
Well,
You could do the same thing for UFOs, for Bigfoot, for ghosts.
it's one thing to have people say their story. It's another to make sure it's
Well,
verified.
I would say that if you, unless you believe more people would take advantage of it and make something up than truthful people, I guess the thought was that the truthful people's trends will overcome all the outliers of the people that are just making stuff up.
Right.
Maybe
Well,
not.
that's why when they do that app, it's going to be in real time. And it's going to like ping you, hey, there's a unidentified object in your area.
Yep.
Document it so they can take a picture from their angle and all that stuff.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is well thought out by the government to make it a public Project Blue Book, if you will. And
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same thing about the facial recognition thing we were talking about. It's like you just spin it so that the people want to do it. It's just like they're eavesdropping. If anybody
Yeah.
doesn't think your phone is listening to you right now, you're fooling yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And so instead of the government putting all these little like bugs and cameras everywhere, we just packaged it up in a neat little package here and we carry it around in our pocket. We freak out if we don't have it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you
we
get used
always
to it.
make sure we have it on us. Listening and watching.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of
man.
segue into we're just going to say Q. Don't say the
Yep.
whole word.
Sure. Yep.
We might get lucky.
Alphabet.
So we have, he came back. There's some interesting stuff here because he says this post here, I want to bring this up on screen. Because we've been waiting. It's like, well, when are these indictments going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. Stuff takes forever around here because, they're trying to make it crystal clear to everybody. So there was this post. This was actually November 11th, this post happened. Indictments coming, and then he's got in brackets 2019. Is it actually 2019, or is it like, because there was this other post as well where he did
I came
date,
across that one. Yep.
and it's 11/11/18. Everybody thought it was a date, but it was an IP address. Well, is 2019 an IP address? I mean, we just don't know. So actually, if it's true, we got what, 3.5 weeks? The ball should drop.
Yeah. If something else is going to happen.
If
here.
it's not, what's the excuse?
Year of the Boomerang.
Well, the year of the boomerang.
What is that supposed to mean, Dano?
I thought maybe, okay, we were going, when you throw a boomerang, you're throwing it out. You're going that one direction of, tyranny for so long and all this cover up. So if it's coming back, maybe we're finally taking the country back.
Yeah,
it's
because what it does, you throw it out, and and then it whips around the other way, and then comes back at you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So linking them two together, maybe there's something there.
Yeah, maybe okay, interesting.
That post was July 24th of this year.
Oh, okay, so it's been out there a while.
That one was there for a while. And then I think what's supposed to happen with the ball being dropped is it's going to be part of the FISA D-class. So this was December 2nd, 2019. It says, Anons, why would we provide the date of the FISA release? Logical thinking ammunition is finite. So with the indictments, this having to do, okay, this is going to happen. The FISA stuff's going to come out, and then they can start going on with that. I heard, I don't know if, I'm pretty sure, Lindsey Graham was talking about like Monday, the 9th. Yeah, today's the 6th. Yeah, 9th. So we'll see if something happens then. But I mean, if this is going to happen, it's got to happen sometime soon here. Because that is the ball.
I want to point out a comment in the chat.
Yeah.
Creative Goddess, the two guys that founded Google just stepped down. Can you say indictments? Interesting.
That wasn't Sundar Pritchard. He stepped up, I think, and had to take their spot, but he was the
but
top Google.
if you're like in that upper echelon of Google though, man, you should be untouchable, you'd think. Apparently not.
No, there was actually a lot of the CEOs from these companies stepping down and stuff the last couple of years, I think.
They all stepped down.
Even Sundar, I'm pretty sure he was still on there.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to look
see.
into,
I'm not
but
sure. I'm not
pretty
sure.
sure I read in the article that he had to step up and take their spot. But I want to read this. I think this post was a while ago from Q, but this is what we deal with. So I'm going to read this post. It goes, how does the average person who is under constant financial stress, in quotes, by design, find time to research and discern fact versus fiction? Majority of people are more prone to believe in someone in power sitting behind a big brand news name.
Yeah, that's sad.
Right?
It's true and sad.
Do people, human psyche, tend to follow the majority/mainstream viewpoint in fear of being isolated or shunned? Mainstream is used for a reason. Dominant trend in opinion.
Yeah. I understand that. That's just general social engineering, I think, 101 there, isn't it?
If majority of people believe X, then X must be validated/true.
Yep.
Why do mainstream media heads within different orgs always use the same keywords or catchphrases? Coordinated by who? Outside entity providing instructions. I believe there was a link with this post as well.
I was going to say, I'd like to see some examples of that.
Well, I didn't have the link on here, but
right.
what it was is the news, all these news organizations saying the exact same words. And it's just on and on and on. You can tell they're getting it fed from somewhere.
Yeah, right? Because they all want part of that catchphrase bandwagon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I thought that was interesting to show because that's what we're bombarded with. A lot of people, the news, this is right, this is what they're trying to do with like the impeachment stuff. It got so bad these last 2 weeks. I didn't even like listen to the news. I shut it off.
I've been avoiding the news as much as I can. I catch it a little bit. I listen to a lot of public radio, and they have news on like every 20 minutes or something. So like when I drive to and from work, I usually get one like 2-minute news blurb from public radio. But like at home, you just even turn it on the TV. It's just like you'd think that if you looked out your window, it'd be complete anarchy and destruction and mushroom clouds in the distance and stuff. I mean, there's horrible shit going on, stuff going on. Don't get me wrong. But I'm looking at it just more and more. It's fear mongering and
but again, if
the masses are just eating it up.
It's well, I think they like to say it's that 12th monkey syndrome or whatever. If you put it enough out there, and a lot of people have it in their psyche, that it'll happen. Yeah, and that's what the news tries to do, is bombard you with all this stuff.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I just got to the point where it's like, oh God, I can't handle this anymore every day, and it's like that whole Mueller report was a whitewash, and they kind of just, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this other thing. It's like, you guys are freaking wrong then. It's like,
and where's all when was the last time anybody ever talked about any sort of pedo investigation that should be going on?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And then with Epstein.
I deliberately didn't say.
I didn't say it.
No,
YouTube
you didn't say it. Yep. I did. I deliberately didn't.
With him off the radar, it was like, where's the reporting? Why wasn't there more going on about that?
Yeah, there should be like weekly debriefings from somebody at a very high up office telling us how the investigation's going. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it's still under investigation, ain't it?
But is it? Who's investigating it? Right? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry. I hope I'm wrong.
In the chat here, Chad actually, he says Sundar moved up. That's what I thought. But I think his days are numbered too. So
right on, Ray Floyd's. I'm with Ray Floyd's there too. Just so you know, in the chat section.
What did he say? Can we read that, or is that inappropriate?
Operation Mockingbird never stopped and only got bigger. Clowns in America have delved extensively in mind control and know their stuff.
Oh yeah.
I paraphrased at the end for you.
Well, people can read it if
they want to. So anyway, you're right. It just went deeper and of course, more sophisticated the way tech's advanced in the last 50 years. So, yay.
So,
got that going for us.
Yeah, let's tie this back into the CEO company. So this is Susan Wachowski talking about what we got to deal with. I believe this report was a while ago. Mm-hmm. I just saw this on the Twitter. Twitter's a great place to get news, by the way.
I'm not even on Twitter.
You can see it quick. That's right there. And it's just bam, bam, bam. This is exactly what we're going through, so let's play this clip.
She told us that earlier this year, YouTube started reprogramming its algorithms in the U.S. to recommend questionable videos much less and point users who search for that kind of material to authoritative sources like news clips.
Yeah.
With these changes,
surprise,
says they have cut down the amount of time Americans watch controversial content by 70%.
Oh, I believe it. That's easily we see that.
Yeah, it cut down on, but it also cut down on my complete YouTube watch time, because what I found out is when I used to look watch my conspiracy video, but on the right there would be more suggestions. Keep going.
Yep.
Now it's like I sit there and I was all right, nothing
And
more.
you could and you could find some super cool stuff after a few like iterations of the right sidebar, you know.
And now it's actually, I don't have the news article or anything, but it's been reported they're losing revenue because of this.
Oh,
so
really?
They're basically shooting themselves in the foot, and they don't give a rat's ass.
You wait until the shareholders get involved, and they'll be like, open that channel, open those gates back up.
I don't know. It's pretty censored.
Who today, especially on the YouTube front, has that much integrity or alleged integrity to lose that kind of money, though? That's the whole problem is that, yeah, right. And so it's not going to last because people are going to want to make money. I
think what will happen is YouTube's going to go the way of MySpace. It's just going to die out.
And what's going to?
Do you remember MySpace?
Oh yeah. I still got a. Well, I think they blasted all the information, but there's still like stuff I can Google.
For those who don't know or are too young, MySpace was the Facebook before Facebook.
Yeah, it was like the first kind of real Facebook.
Everybody was on there, and
you could post music videos.
Completely
songs.
died.
Yeah, it's dead. Is it even a thing anymore?
Last I knew, Timberlake bought it, but that was a long time ago.
Timberlake bought MySpace just to have.
Well, I think he was going to try to revamp it. But.
Okay, well, good luck.
Good luck.
Right on.
So, maybe we should. Oh, hi, proud Texas lady in the chat. Good to see you. I think we'll take a commercial break and we'll come back and hit the TTSA stuff. This is a short commercial break. We got a 20% promo, folks. Now's the time. Hey guys, Dan Hohlfeld here. I wanted to jump in here quick and tell you that we're having a sale, 20% off our entire store. When you're at your checkout, enter the code HOLIDAY19. You'll get 20% off your order. And it helps support the network, and it's giving you guys a good deal. I only offer a discount like once a year during this holiday season. I'm not like Alex Jones where I do a sale every week. I do it once a year. If you're waiting to buy something, now's the time. 20% off. This is the biggest percentage off I have done at the store ever. Go over there, check it out, and we appreciate your support on the network. And we are back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Great stuff. Yeah, 20% off, Pete, at the store.
Yeah, awesome. And you
big.
know what? It's funny because every year at this time, I always order a couple things off the website for family and friends. So it's a
great gift.
Yeah, and a good reason for me to get to do that. How long are you running the sale, Dan?
This will be running until January 4th.
Okay, so you got some time. You got that week after Christmas. Yeah. So
I do it once a year, just as a generous thanks. And we'll run it all the way to the new year there. And
good.
And I showed it in the commercial, the new and the cover up mug. It was such a hit on the shirt. I was like, let's just bring it to the mug. You could be sipping up some coffee at work like this and open some minds.
Yeah, it does. Gets people thinking about it. My coffee mug at work has fish on it.
Is there any meaning to that, or is that like a Podesta thing?
It's just a lot of different types, species of fish.
Oh, okay.
It really didn't contribute anything to the conversation. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so before the break, we were talking about the social media thing. I forgot to talk about this. This was interesting. I seen this today. Former content moderators sue Facebook for giving them PTSD.
Oh, God.
So he had to watch all these videos of, I can't even say these words, bad stuff that gets uploaded.
People just do that to Facebook anyway.
I think they're always going to be random stuff getting uploaded. They have to go filter through it. So they got to sit there and watch this stuff. Well, now it's coming home to roost because now these people are, you watch that day after day to do your job. You're going to start feeling depressed. You're going to be in that state. And if you see an image that strikes you, it's going to be hard to get out of your head. But yeah, that just popped
it would.
Up.
You would lose so much faith in humanity,
Mm-hmm. I kind of did for a while when I.
Yeah. I mean, just spend time on the stuff they let get through on the internet, and you lose faith in humanity.
Yeah, I got down a pretty dark alleyway for a while, but came back out.
Oh, good.
So let's start with the TTSA stuff. So I'm gonna bring this. What was so funny?
I looked over. You said I was down in this dark alleyway. Well, so anyway, and then you went on. I'm like, what? Oh,
well, because it
Christ.
happens to every UFO researcher.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's got that. They look at something they get into the reptilian thing, and if you go down that path, it sucks you
Deeper and deeper.
You look at David Icke, and then it's like, oh, I got to do something different, and
I got to
find something good in humanity and bring it back.
Right.
So Tucker Carlson, this was interesting. I wish I could show this clip. I did show it to Pete before the show. But it was from the Ancient Aliens episode. Obviously, I'd get flagged on copyrights on the History Channel there. They're good for that. But he was basically talking about how he asked his source that they basically have possession of this ET craft and technology. And for Tucker Carlson, yeah, he's kind of a little fringe or whatever, but he's quote unquote mainstream. So for him to start looking into this, and he's been kind of a vehicle for TTSA to start coming out, you know, whether the government gave him the blessing or whatever, the fact that a top news anchor saying the government's got craft.
Yeah. This is a major news network, right?
Yeah, Fox.
Yeah. A major news network is the number one watched news network in America, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty good.
So I thought that was good, the show there.
Yeah. Yes. Check it out. I'm sure with some Googling, you folks can find the exact link that Dan's on right now and view it for yourself.
I'll put it in the description when we're done. So Harry Reid, remember the Senate Democratic Senator from Nevada, the one that's kind of pushing TTSA, kind of got a little message for us. Well, let's listen to that.
I do.
A fringe group of people out there who they want to control all this. The so-called conspiratorial folks. They don't want anybody that's based on facts being involved in this. So what do? They go online and try to belittle Elizondo and me and anybody else that's trying to do it a scientific way. Elizondo is a man with a great record serving our country, and people should leave him alone. And one thing about him, he's not backing off, and I appreciate that very much.
Would you say definitive?
Excuse me. Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Look at the ticker on the bottom there in the North Las Vegas forecast. Tonight, 38 degrees, creepy clear. The hell does that mean?
Oh, what the hell
I'm
is that?
sorry. I just saw it when you stopped.
No, you're right. But guess what? Look at the time over here.
And 38 degrees.
11:11.
Oh, what is it? Oh, weird.
I noticed that when I watched this clip. I was like, no way.
Whoa, and that's creepy.
Oh yeah. But
So anyway, okay, so yeah.
so he's speaking, to like you or I, the conspiratorial
I
folks.
think that in his context, so he means the conspirators is just generally people that are against him, not necessarily.
Well, that'd be me because I've been harsh on him.
Yeah, that's true. I guess,
It's the, he likes to label us as fringe,
yeah.
but we've been doing this research for so much longer. And I'm not like saying the facts ain't. Of course, you want the facts.
Yeah, right. That's
the
whole
idea
point.
is of this government-controlled narrative release and how this is going.
How about government control of what the facts are?
Exactly.
And just in general.
One thing I think about, like, Harry Reid's going through that cancer issue right now. So is he not in this inner circle where they had? I guess George Bush technically wasn't either because he died as well, where they could get this healing technology, which they had.
Yeah. Well, if maybe somebody outgrows their usefulness.
I think this comes to where they're kind of just puppets. Oh, James Paulziku also said the 444. I noticed that number too.
Yeah.
There are a lot of synchronicities. I guess I was supposed to show that clip on today's show.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on with the TTSA stuff. So now they appointed this Joe Sherman to their board. I'll bring it up on screen. Now he's going to be handling the app stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be working on the Scout app, and that's directly tied into the vault where we're going to have all this database for the sightings that people see. And he worked at, Microsoft, IBM, Hewlett Packard. So this is some, could you ever think back in the day, like, you're putting together a UFO thing and you're getting like people that would have, know what they're doing to work on some conspiratorial stuff, and it's happening. That's how you can kind of tell this is controlled. Because people, when he went waste a UFO thing, I'm not going to waste my time with that. I'm going to go work at Apple or something.
Yeah, right? If you think about it, yeah. Unless whoever's funding it's got deep pockets and offering ridiculous salaries.
That's another good question, because there's always that thing that's saying that To the Stars Academy's in debt. And they have DeLong also has to get his failed hot dog company funded from the investment too, if you read the clause in the investment newsletter. Okay, so now this gets into, I'm going to bring up the article for it, because this was talking about the app more and how this is going to work. And this ties
but I
back.
remember hearing about them working with the Army. That's a month or two
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. And a propulsion active camouflage.
Yeah. So the government, where's that graph that said that's the coup d'etat. I'm getting ahead of us, folks. I apologize.
Active camouflage, that's basically camouflage, that the see-through stuff, right? It changes and with your surroundings, your background and stuff like that. I think that's what that is, right?
Yeah. So this is going to tie into the AI for the app, but we talked about they're going to have this app. It's going to be the Project Blue Book of all blue books.
UAPs, yep. Unidentified aerial phenomena, not UFOs. No, Norberto Calles pointed that out in the chat.
Okay, so here's the paragraph I wanted to read. So Joe's extraordinary depth of knowledge and expertise will make it possible for TTSA to provide the world's most comprehensive, reliable, and authoritative repository of UAP information, said TTA National Policy Advisor Chris Mellon. This is accomplished in part by using AI to identify and filter manipulated data, similar to how AI can be trained to recognize cancer cells. This vital capability will run in real time, helping to eliminate false positives when TTSA Scout app notifies users of UAP sightings found in close proximity to the location.
Oh, so they're going to not only gather the data, but then they'll send bursts out. Hey, there's a UFO spot in your area.
So they're going to know your location, folks.
Yeah.
If you're concerned about that.
Of course, yeah. What app you want to go to, like the Find Restaurant app near me, you have to give them your damn location. I think that's nobody's going to have an issue with that. So if you and like 40 of your buddies all had this app and went on there and like hit the button that said, yes, we're all seeing a UFO, you think the black helicopters would come?
Well, no, this is all part of the... Well, let me finish up and I'll get my thoughts on it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so finishing up the last sentence here. Those users in turn will be able to collect data from different angles and locations, helping to clarify the size, location, and appearance of unidentified objects. So we put game plan. We got this app. It was actually supposed to come out this month. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to download it and check it out to see what we're dealing with here. Everybody downloads this app. Okay, we can report UFOs. I'm sure the news is going to cover the app. Get the app, do this. Multiple people. So like I said at the beginning of the show, you could have the government say, okay, bring some TR-3Bs into Los Angeles. Bring it up above. Do the app alert. It'll go out to all these people to shoot it
and
get everybody talking about it.
And then you've got the control group, which would be the actual dimensions and stuff of the aircraft, because you're in control of it, and see how well your app is doing.
And I think the majority of these will be government UAPs or UFOs.
That people are going to start seeing and stuff.
And this is purposely, I bet, is going to be coordinated.
I agree, because we've had enough time to reverse engineer enough of their stuff to have these craft that we wouldn't recognize as normal, and I'll air quotes that, that what we would expect. And plus the aliens, I'm sure, have gotten what they want. And if not, we're probably providing it through our man-made aircraft at this point anyway, doing all their dirty work for them.
So that's There's the groundwork. So now, touching upon TTSA's partnership with the government now.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so this is called a
CRADA, Cooperative, what is it? Research and Development Agreement, maybe something like that. What's it called? Cooperative Research and Development Agreement. Very
Look
good.
at that, you know your stuff.
All right.
So yeah, in a nutshell, the government, I want to read that
Is
one
now
paragraph.
working with Tom DeLonge and To the Stars Academy. That's crazy.
But this is the way look, this is how it was said. Paragraph now. Always miss that. Well, in a nutshell, it was they basically said, I wanted to read that so they said the Army came to the Stars Academy
and asked them.
Yeah, it's like, because they got all these professionals, we went to them. So that's a red flag.
Well, maybe like there's some general somewhere that's a huge Blink-182 fan. I'm sorry. Maybe you don't know that. You don't know that.
But the example that going back to the CRADA, so this happened in the past before. So the U.S. Army worked with General Motors. General Motors had fuel cell technology. The Army was interested in, and then the General Motors was interested in the Army's off-road vehicle operation experience. So then they worked together. You know.
Yep.
Just not like paying for anything. They just work together, whatever, if it costs labs together.
Sure. So then that begs the question, you know, General Motors had something that the Army wanted. What does TTSA have that the Army wants?
Exactly. And that's where we get into what they said here. So they wanted electromagnetic, because they talked about this for the TTSA stuff. So electromagnetic metamaterials, camouflage, concealment, deception capabilities, and this is the big one, significantly reduce massive armored vehicles. Now that kind of ties back into Salvor Payas patents.
Oh, yep. Right.
So the Navy has this stuff already. So now they're just, no, we got it from TTSA. I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
I quote here, To the Stars Academy receives access to the U.S. government's leading edge resources that a startup of this size otherwise wouldn't have access to.
Correct. Yeah, I would agree with that.
This includes highly skilled scientists, specialists, and high caliber laboratories that can accelerate and widen the scope of the testing and analysis required for the Atom Project. And the Atom Project is basically the research of exotic materials.
Oh, interesting.
And now you also got to think of the partnership with TrueClear. This was announced before. TTSA working with TrueClear, and I think that's going to tie into the projection, the holographic technology.
Mm-hmm.
They work on computer screens. Okay, now this paragraph's important here. To the Stars Academy has been transparent and vocal since its inception about the fact that a cooperative relationship with both the U.S. government and private industry is essential to the success and forward movement of its steadfast mission. As a technology leader, the U.S. government can provide exceptional resources to accelerate testing and analysis that would otherwise be cost prohibitive to a startup the size of To the Stars Academy. They're definitely the government's hand. It's getting so obvious.
Could it be that the government might think they actually have something, so they want to keep an eye on them as well? Or are we back to
No, if they thought they had something, they would have raided them and shut them down by now. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So why does the government even want to mess with them then? What's the point then?
The idea is they're showing to the public, TTSA has this stuff. We want to build it for our craft so they can start using this stuff for Space Force.
Yeah. So
put
they
it together. We work
that,
together.
So
and
why
then
don't they
release
just
this to
go
the
in?
public.
Why don't they just go in and take the stuff from TTSA?
Because they want to show like it's cooperative. We're working with private industry.
Oh God, you think so? Who cares?
Because the government has this stuff already. They don't need TTSA for this.
This is just all like just the slow roll.
This is the
out.
front for it, so the public can digest it.
Yeah, but I guess my point is that the public, by and large, doesn't have a clue of who the To the Stars Academy are. When that starts getting more mainstream, I'll start biting onto that. Something else.
It is. Well,
something else is fishy. It's going on there. I don't know.
that's the thing. I thought it was going to die out when they first announced the UFO app. That was 2 years ago. I was like, okay, nothing happened with it. I guess it kind of faded out, but now they're still doing it. So I was like, okay, now this is coordinated by the government because they want this to be public getting involved and bringing this out like this. And this leads into the season 2.
Oh, is this from Linda Howe? Is
Yeah.
this the piece?
So this
is that
leads
that
in-
little tiny piece?
I think she had multiple.
Okay.
This leads into season 2 of Unidentified. We talked about season 1 on
Yep.
here. They basically said there's these pilots that saw this unidentified craft. They didn't know what it was, a tic-tac object.
Mm-hmm.
Got the people to digest that. And I've seen on To the Stars YouTube channel, they had video of them screwing around with metamaterials where they went to this private place and picked it up. This was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that was going to be in season 1. No, I bet it's going to be in season 2
now to coincide with this aspect of the rollout. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And it says, To the Stars Academy has acquired material from various sources and does not comment on the specifics of its origin. So I found this Vice article about this. So UFO researcher explains why she sold exotic material to Tom DeLonge. Now this is Linda Moulton Howell. She sold it to him for $35,000. And when she did that, well, she had this since '96 with Art Bell, the former host of Coast to Coast AM. She was spending money like I believe it said anywhere from like $900 to $2,000 a year trying to get it tested and what they can do with it. And she couldn't figure anything out with it. So rather than her sitting with it, she decided to just sell it to them. And
For
when she
35,
and when she
part
said,
of 35 grand.
and when she said 35,000, they were actually surprised it was that cheap.
Oh, really?
From what I heard. So there they can say, okay, we got this metamaterial from her. This is believed to be the crash, a fragment from the Roswell crash. An unknown source gave it to Linda Moulton Howell.
I remember watching parts of that interview.
And yeah, so that's one of the things they're going to use. Now, here's a letter from Hal. Hal Puthoff has had his hands on this metamaterial before. Hal Puthoff is To the Stars Academy. He's involved in a lot of this black hole stuff for the government. But he's touched this sample before, and he couldn't do anything with it, and he sent it back to her. This one's dated 2012 in September. Mm-hmm. So now he's getting it back for the To the Stars Academy. And now DeLonge has been on Joe Rogan, and he has talked about this. And Moulton Howell and DeLonge both believe that by blasting the material with a magnetic field, it will float. And I remember DeLonge saying that on Joe Rogan.
Why wouldn't they do that in the initial test? Cripes, grab one off the fridge and see what happens.
There was, well, if you read the paper, Hal Puthoff said that there was some issues, like they couldn't do it with the technology at the time. So now they can officially, and they can do it with To the Stars Academy. They can show it in that metamaterial episode, show it hovering, and they can go, okay, it's built out of this and this material. Let's build it. They can do that. They can put the other stuff on there from the Salvor Payas, and there you got your Space Force. Bam.
Yep. And then it's there, and look at all this great stuff we did with getting it out in the meantime. Interesting.
Yeah, $900 to $2,000 a year. It said from '96 to 2019, she typically would spend on the testing of that.
So basically, she estimated the value of the money that she spent on it. Well, that's fair.
So there it is. Can we get a good Space Force for that?
Space Force.
There, thank you.
Space Force. Space Force?
Space Force.
Space Force.
So that about sums it up for the TTSA stuff.
Right on.
We can see the roadmap right there. You kind of figure out how this stuff is going to run, and it's all right there. So before we close, there's a couple things else I wanted to show. So now this is admitted. More polio cases now caused by vaccine than wild virus.
Oh my God.
So this was the oral drop they put in these. They were vaccinating these. They did it in Pakistan, but also in Nigeria, Congo, and Central Africa Republic. They're finding this new strain, and that's another thing too. I even heard today on the news I listened to before the show that the flu is starting earlier this year.
Yeah, they say that every year, man. They say the flu's starting early this year.
Do they do that every year? Because I was starting
year.
to tie that to them pushing the vaccination shots earlier.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's probably how they get the vaccinations earlier, is that they start saying, "Oh, so we heard somebody got the flu. Flu's starting early. Get your shots now." It's all a racket to make money, right?
Yeah. Well, by giving people the shot early, people get sick early.
Yeah,
I made that correlation.
I see. Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right, because some people do like get sick from the flu shot, and then they walk into the hospital, and then they say, "Oh my God, we had someone that had the flu," and quick, get your flu shot.
Yeah, it just takes
That's crazy.
Okay, I'm going to show this one picture before we wrap. Thank you guys for joining us today, this live edition. Much appreciated. I hope you got a little information there what the roadmap looks like, the TTSA, and where things are going, because now when you put it together, it's like, you know what? This is how it's going to go down.
Well, you could. I think it's a plausible theory. I mean, like, it's one of the potential outcomes.
I just wish it would go a little faster, but
Yeah.
because I mean, when Trump talks about eradicating AIDS and it's going to take 10 years to get that out, it's like, well, they got it now, and then real people are dying.
Yeah.
But, let's focus on this.
Well, he's done some stuff to deregulate some of the medical field to speed some of these experimental things, treatments up and stuff. So he's done some stuff there.
Okay, so on screen here, this was sent to me by Jason. This is
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Kind of hard to tell. A satellite shot. I think he was on Google Earth Pro, I believe, and looking around to see if he can find any bases and stuff. And he sent this to me, and I wanted him to get a actual screenshot, but he said he couldn't do it. So he took a picture of the computer monitor, which, for you folks wondering, it's never good.
Yeah, it's very similar to a photo of Bigfoot. Kind of not quite the crispness that you'd hope for.
I think this other one over here is actually like a wide shot of the area he was looking at. These were he sent me a lot, but I thought this was the best one that I could show. I said, hey, give me the coordinates, but he said he didn't have them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dan
I thought it was interesting.
Dan comes across all sorts of colorful folks in his journey. But
when you look at these lines, they don't look, natural. A lot of them are pretty straight. Yeah,
well, that other picture you brought up looked like there were roads coming in and out of that. I mean, look at that.
Well, if you think of like each of these are like a cavern with, you could put like, whatever, a UFO landing thing, or
I don't know. I think that
and this does.
That could be somebody's carpet with some shit stuff growing out of it. It's so tough to tell. You just can't. I'm not even certain we're looking at a topographical map, to be honest with you, Dano. That to me looks like, we talked about it before the show, like somebody has a wet paper towel and it's sitting on some stuff.
It could be. We don't know.
I did. To me, I'm probably wrong. That's probably snow and ice and some weird black stuff with some red things coming out of it, but I don't know.
But this does tie back into TTSA, because on the top of their website, it does show the upside down missile flying from Antarctica. So, all right, Pete, I think we can call it a day. Right?
I think so. I was reading one of the comments about Trump steaks in the chat room. That's pretty funny stuff there.
He says,
yes, Husiver.
He says, buy Trump steaks, they cure the AIDS. And
tremendous. Yeah, so do it in Trump voice in your head. It's pretty funny. So good one. I'll give you a double on that one. Not quite a home run, but I'll give you a double. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dan, lots of stuff we covered. Lots of stuff that I've got to look into a little bit more. But really cool.
We'll see what happens with the future of disclosure. We'll see if this month picks up with the app and the FISA thing. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Hohlfeld, Pete Halbleib.
Thanks again, Athena and Ken. You guys rock.
Thank you, guys.
I can't say
Much
that enough.
appreciated.
Can't wait to see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Visit k2d4network.com today.